Have you ever truly appreciated order? No, not that order. I mean this order. Although the world feels like quite the chaotic place, in the big picture, we're quite fortunate that cosmic order has fought against chaos. Frankly, we wouldn't be here without it. In this series, I take the most mundane, overlooked, or just plain obvious everyday things that we take for granted in our modern world. I break them down, look at them from the big picture, and share their fascinating significance for us humans. In this episode, let's talk about order. This episode will not answer the why question, as in, why do we live in an orderly universe? I don't even think we could answer such a question. Rather, this episode will explain what order is and why it deserves your curiosity. Let's start with the truly titanic battle of the universe: entropy versus order. Now, entropy is a property of thermodynamic systems. It postulates that particles tend to disperse into homogeneous arrangements over time. Simply put, all the matter in our universe would tend to spread out rather than concentrate. That is, if there were no other forces acting upon them. If entropy had its way, our universe would be full of a homogeneous soup of evenly distributed particles. Luckily for us, the four fundamental forces fight against entropy to pull matter together and form everything we see with the naked eye. By order, I mean the existence of increasingly complex structures and patterns in our universe. Galaxies, stars, solar systems, life, and even you are among the different degrees of orderly structures that exist in opposition to entropy. So here we are, living creatures walking atop a modestly sized, watery rock made up of trillions of atoms comprising various different elements and structures. All the while, we hurtle around the sun enraptured by its gravitational pull. Order on the most primordial level comes in the atoms, the elements, and the celestial bodies we see in the cosmos. Over the course of the last 13.8 billion years, protons and electrons were pulled together and paired up to form simple hydrogen atoms. Next, these hydrogen atoms formed first helium and eventually all the other elements you can find in your chemistry textbook. Given the expansive time in those 13.8 billion years, atoms had plenty of time to gather together and form stars where ever more complex elements could be created. Eventually, these stars died, spewing out the products of their stellar furnaces and ushering in the second generation of stars. These new generations now had complex elements trapped in their orbit, with the likes of iron, copper, and nickel smashing together to create primordial planets. By now, the cosmos had created vastly more ordered structures than those that had existed at the birth of the universe. On one of these planets, 3.7 billion years ago, the first living single-cell microbes emerged. Over the next few billion years, these single-cell microbes became increasingly ordered and complex structures that came to form multicellular life. Plants, sea creatures, dinosaurs, mammals, and eventually us. All life on Earth is a higher level of order in our universe, a complexity which we can see nowhere else in the vastness of space. With the arrival of Homo sapiens, the universe took another step in its complexity and order when a species of hominids became conscious and self-reflective of the universe from which they emerged. We are an extreme expression of an ordered universe, and this order has enabled the universe to consciously and intelligently reflect upon itself. Our brains are the most mysterious, complex, and structured order that we have ever seen, more complex than the stars or the galaxies we see in the night sky. It consists of billions of neurons that communicate with one another to enable the emergence of consciousness and intelligence in our universe. Yet, a single brain can only do so much. The reason we can go to the moon, understand complex science, or build huge skyscrapers is not because one single human brain is intelligent. Rather, It's because our collective intelligence enables us to be far more knowledgeable and arguably more conscious than any one individual. Our collective intelligence is another level of order in our universe. So far, it has built civilization and all the technological marvels we live with every day. Yet, it seems as though our collective intelligence is growing faster and faster. Key to this acceleration has been our ability to communicate and connect better than before. Like neurons in a brain communicating to one another, the capacity of our collective intelligence is determined by the scope of each individual's connective strength to one another. The brain would be useless if our neurons did not speak to one another. Likewise, our collective intelligence would be vastly weaker if we could not communicate with our fellow humans. And as we become better and better at connecting and communicating through the likes of telephones, airplanes, or the internet, our collective intelligence grows too. Yet, we do not know what our collective intelligence will lead to, but it is nevertheless the culmination of each level of order in our universe. You could say we are currently living in one of the most pivotal periods in cosmic history. We are actors in the transition from one level of order in the universe to another. Atoms to elements, elements to life, life to consciousness, and now consciousness to wherever collective intelligence may lead. We cannot see what lies beyond, and it's unlikely we would understand even if we could. But we will be an intimate part in its creation. Just as atoms and elements constitute you too will constitute the next level of order in the universe. And that is something certainly worth your contemplation. In the big picture, we are fortunate to live in an orderly universe. We are fortunate to be the offspring of that order, and we are fortunate to play a part in creating the next iteration of order in the cosmos. Well, that's a wrap. Thank you. Please like and subscribe for more big picture perspectives. Just remember to stay curious. See you next time.